In 2 weeks, on January 20th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be hosting a brand new webinar on design change control. This isn't document control. It isn't design control. It's design change control. How do we manage making a change to an existing design? Most companies want to use their document change process for everything, but that doesn't work. There's a lot more that you have to make sure that you manage in terms of controlling that change and other documents that are affected whenever you change one little part of the design of your device. So let me show you by first showing what the process is for the document change control, and then I'll contrast that with the design change control process. And that'll give you sort of a quick overview of what we're going to cover on Thursday, the 20th. So let me share my screen here. We'll start with the log. This is our log for document changes. We call it our DCN log or document change notification list. And over on the left-hand side, we have our DCN number. So every time you're going to make a new DCN, you're going to review and approve documents, you enter the next entry in the log. And it starts with the year 2022, and then a dash and a sequential number. So if you're starting a brand new quality system, it's 22-001. And if we're approving the document change control process, it would be YS001, Form 001, LST001, which is our master document list, and LST002, which is this log that you're looking at right now. So our procedure for document control, our form for approval of changes to documents, the DCN form, the master document list, and then the DCN log. And then we list what the status of it is. So right now, this one, as an example, is in review. Once it's approved, we would say approved. And then the date it's initiated. So we're saying this one was initiated on the 3rd of January. The person that initiated, and if it gets released, this changes from TBD to an actual date. So that's what the log is. Then you actually fill in the actual DCN itself. So I'll share that. Here's our document change notice log. And you list each of the documents that you're approving. So SYS1, Form 1, List 1, and List 2. The revision of them, because this is an initial release, they're all A's. And you could list as many as you want, but for the sake of an example, we're just including these 4 documents that are related. And then you explain this is a release of a new procedure, associated forms and logs, and its initiation of a new quality system. And then the people that approve it. And up here at the top, you put the DCN number. It would be probably revision A only because it's not a draft, the date it's initiated, and the person that initiated it. So this is how you fill in this form. Now I'm going to show you what we do for design changes to show you how different that is and how much more detail you have to have. I'll share that form. So we start with the log again. And this one is called the change register or change log. It's where we put all our change notices. And we start with the same thing, 22-001, the date of initiation, the person that initiated, but we have a source that we're referencing. Why are you making this change? In this case, it's a kappa, and we put a cross-reference to the kappa number. Let's say in this particular case, we were having insufficient strength of the bond between the hub of a needle and the needle itself. That UV cured adhesive wasn't curing completely, so we were having them come apart, or they were too weak. They weren't passing our strength test when we did our process validation. So we changed the settings and we update the design documentation accordingly. The changes increase UV oven dwell time to 37 seconds. The product that's affected is only our 18 gauge needle. Maybe it's because that gauge is color coded for the hub and it's more opaque, and it prevents the UV light from penetrating and curing the UV adhesive. Maybe there's some other reason. Maybe it's the gauge itself, it's so much bigger. But for whatever reason, that's the product that's affected. This is the date that's going to be approved, the date that you would actually complete the change. So you might approve it one date, but it doesn't get implemented until later. And then the first batch or serial number in which it's actually affected. And that's really important. So you can go back and say anything before this date isn't using this new procedure. Anything after this date is using the new procedure. Now I'm going to show you the actual form where you approve this. So we'll share that screen as well. And here's our change notice. Now, this has a lot more information on it. We have the person proposing the change, the date, what product it is, what process it is, the source of the change proposal. So typically that would be the CAPA in this particular case, for our example. And then the types of documents that are changed. Document, it could be a procedure, it could be a work instruction. You could have manufacturing process or drawings that are changing, labeling, supplier, the design of the device itself, the testing, equipment, all these things could change. We, in this new version of the form, we added the risk management file because people were forgetting to update their risk management file, maybe instructions for inspection, so you cover that. The post-market surveillance document, you might want to add a check for post-market surveillance, and then the DMR technical file index. All that stuff is covered in there. And then we explain how to fill in each of these sections in the training. So if you sign up for this training on January 20th at 11 a.m., you're going to learn how to fill in this change notice and when you need to notify your notified body, when you need to notify Health Canada, when you have to create a 510K and submit it to the FDA, and when you can have just a letter to file to update your medical device file instead of actually doing a regulatory submission. So that's what we're going to cover next Thursday. If you can't make it, don't worry. If you still need this training, we're going to record it, but it will be a live training. So if you want to ask questions, you can interrupt me during the training, or you can ask questions at the end. And if you're not able to attend, you can always set up a meeting with me and ask the questions privately, but we'll also do a recording for anybody that can't attend the live session. I hope you can make it next. It's 2 weeks from now. It's on Thursday, the 20th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So that way it'll be a little bit earlier in the morning for those folks on the West Coast, or later in the evening for the people in Europe. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you on the 20th. Bye-bye.